mama said, what?
Your mama said what?
Your mama said what?
Your mama said what?
Great things, great things, great things. Welcome to Your Mama Said What podcast. I am Jalen, your host for episode number 1, titled, Where Did We Learn That It's Not Okay to Say No? Let me share my process for determining a topic. It's usually when I'm having a conversation with someone or I hear or watch something and a thought or question comes to mind. The same is true for our topic today. Where did we learn that it's not okay to say no? One day I was speaking with a friend about a meeting that we attend regularly. My friend wanted to attend but did not want to be an active participant. I suggested that she inform the host that she did not want to participate and just wanted to observe. She responded that if the host knows that she is in attendance, she would ask her to participate, and she didn't want her to say no. And she didn't want to tell her no. I suggested for a second time that my friend tell the host that she just wanted to observe. And my friend repeated that she didn't want to tell the host no. At this point, there's nothing for me to say, because here it is, an adult who feels that she must participate because she's asked, even though she did not, and I stress, did not want to participate. I also know the host, and I believe with every fiber of my being that she would have understood and taken no for an answer without trying to pressure my friend. This is just one instance, one example. I know other people who feel as if they have to say yes when they are asked, yet they want to say emphatically no. Why do you think she and others feel as if they just have to or they just can't say no when that is what they want to and need to say? Do you think that we do the asker an injustice when we participate out of an unfound obligation? I say unfound because the asker does not know that you want to say no. And in most cases, therefore, there is no obligation to them. So again, where did we learn that it's not okay to say no? And how can we unlearn this destructive thought pattern? Sister V and Sister Sass, I would really love to hear your thoughts on this.
That's a really great. Well, hello everybody. Thank you for coming and being a part of this discussion that we're having. Wow, when is it? That's a good question, because sometimes we just say yes out of obligation and not really because we want to do things, And I mean, it's a whole lot of different variations of different reasons why we do say yes when we really don't want to. I'm trying to think of something in particular what I would say yes. Oh, I can tell you one thing right now. When I really don't want to watch my grandchildren, I say yes because, their father might have been tired working all day, or their mother, might have been working all day and just tired. And I really don't want to, but sometimes I'll say yes, but I really want to say no, because the grandchildren can wear you out. So they'll make you even tired, but you can always send them back. That's the great thing of being a grandmother. So that's my experience with it. Well, it's one little experience that I can think of offhand about it. So what about you, Sash?
I think that we don't say no as women because we're natural nurturers and we're natural caregivers. And sometimes we have to set boundaries and have limitations for our personal space. I can relate to Sister V not wanting to babysit for her grandchildren and feeling obligated because she's not a selfish person and she's a very kind-hearted person. So I find it perfectly in her nature, in her personality, to just come by because she loves her grandchildren, as we all do, that have them. But as far as your friend not being able to say no, Sister Jalen, at a business meeting, Why did she show up if she wasn't really feeling it? That's my
Well, she
thoughts on that.
wanted to be in attendance, but she did not want to assist. She just wanted to be there. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we go many places and we just want to take in what's happening.
Right.
But she felt obligated, and to the point that she said, well, I won't show up, because she just could not bring herself to tell the host no if she was asked to participate.
So she ended up not going.
Yes.
Oh.
So did she miss out on something? Probably. But just the feeling of being obligated. And again, this was on her. This was totally on her. She didn't even want to attempt to tell the person, I'm going to attend, I'll be in attendance, but I just want to observe. She didn't even give the other person. That's what I'm saying. Are we doing the person who's asking, or the host, are we doing them a disservice? Because she didn't ask, again, it didn't go to the point of her being asked, and then her saying yes or no. She, in her mind, it was all a mental thing. That's why I said, how do we unlearn this destructive thought pattern? Because it was just a thought. It wasn't an action. It had not gotten to an action. So, it's just. Say that again.
I can imagine there's a whole culture of people who on Monday morning don't want to go to work. And they just don't know how to say no. So they start formulating on Sunday night what I'm going to do. Because I'm going to get out of going to work. But in all seriously, sometimes you just not feeling attacked. And you should be, maybe it's easier said than done. Because I kind of have a strong constitution, but I do things I don't want to do out of obligation, and I give my word, and I think that's important. But no is sometimes I'll say, what part you don't understand? The N or the O? No. Simple, But yeah, I use that quite a bit. And as far as grandchildren are concerned, that's a whole nother subject, girl, for a whole nother day.
I know, but it is difficult sometimes. I think let me not say difficult. I'll use the word challenging sometimes to not say no. Even like when you're at work and it's really something you really don't want to do, or even if it's a coworker, they're doing something that was supposed to have been their work that they're doing, but they ask you to do it and you really don't want to do it, but you say yes because sometimes you're just a nice person, or you want to make sure that the goal is completed by the end of the day if it was a team of you all. So I mean, sometimes we do that, and I know maybe on a more out of work kind of situation, it can be, especially when it comes to family and friends, like if a friend is having a birthday party or some sort of event for their family member or for their children, right? So you go over and you know how you ask, is there anything I can help you with? But you really don't want to help them with anything, but you ask because you just say that. And hoping that they say, no, everything is okay. But you ask anyway, because you just do. And then you end up washing dishes and, doing all kind of stuff that you really didn't want to do. But you did ask. And you didn't know how to say, well, no, I don't want to do that part. When they told you which one, no, I don't want to do that. But you did it. Kind of. So it's how do we get out of that? I don't know. Because people will then say, oh, wow, you're just so selfish. You don't want to do nothing. You don't want help to nothing. I think that is one of the things that makes you not say no, or makes you you do it rather, instead of just saying, no, I don't want to.
But if you know that you're not selfish, if you know that when someone asks you to do something that you do it, why should it matter if you say no? Why should it matter what they're thinking? And I guess personally, I'm in a space, whereas if I don't want to do something, Joycelyn don't do it. Okay. I don't do it. And let if there's chips falling, they're going to fall. Mm-hmm. But I just think that we do ourselves a disservice because we're not being honest, and we're doing other people that's involved a disservice because we're leading them on to believe that we want to participate, we want to engage, and we're not. So as we're engaging, as we're participating, what is our energy like? What is our spirit like? Are we energized doing it, or are we lackadaisical doing it? So it's like, what's going on? If we just are honest with ourselves and honest with the other person, then I think the energy, and I'm very big on using the word energy. I'm very big on energy. I think the energy around the situation would be a lot more healthier than if we say yes when we just don't want to do it.
And I can also see that on the other side as well too. I'm thinking that it could be positive because sometimes people have to get you out of something that you don't, kind of like being open to different things, like I'm gonna give the example of, like, you go on a trip, right? And darn tootin' you do not want to go bungee jumping. But nevertheless, you go and you do an adventure, and then after you do it, you're like, wow, you kind of feel rejuvenated. You feel excited. You feel better that you did it. Something that you thought you couldn't do. But sometimes when you always saying, no, but you really want to do it, it can also be the reverse. It's something that maybe they could have pulled out of you to help you to have a little more fun, or so to say, or just do something out of your comfort zone. That's what it is. So sometimes when, even though, we want to say no, but we still say yes. And it could also be something that can help us to expand our knowledge, or expand our experiences, or expand our energy, it could be something to that effect. So I really think that it can go both ways.
Okay. All right. I guess that's another way of looking at it.
Sister V, I don't know who convinced you to go jump. And you didn't want to do it. Are you telling us that you did something like that and you didn't really want to do it, but you did it anyway?
It wasn't bungee jumping, not bungee jumping. When you slide across from one, like,
zip lining.
Yes. So you you slide, because it's scary because you up on top, when you stand up top there.
I'm sure.
And then you see ain't nothing underneath there for you to land on. There's nothing there. They don't have no nets, nothing at all. It was on the cruise ship, and going sliding across the slide to the other side of the ship. There's nothing underneath there for you to go on to. But you go and you stand up on top of there, and you look and you're like, ooh, I'm scared. I don't want to do this. But then you do it. And then when you finish and you see, and when you sliding across, and the wind blowing on your face, and you see all the people down on the bottom, it is really exhilarating. And it was fun. And it was like, okay, something outside of my comfort zone. And I did it.
Would you do it again?
Once is probably enough.
I'm sure it was.
The experience was a nice experience, but then I'd be thinking, them things will be done fall and bust, and so yeah, no, once was enough for me. But I did it, even though I really didn't want to, or I was fear. It's also about fear as well too. I think fear comes into some of those things also. Fear of not knowing, or fear of thinking that something bad is going to happen. That's why sometimes we may not do things. But again, like I said, it's just the opposite of what you're saying. She should have said no when she really didn't want to, but she said yes. Well, she said yes. No, she
Well,
didn't.
she didn't say yes. She didn't say yes.
She didn't give the person an opportunity to even give her.
Exactly. Yeah, because again, she was thinking in her head. She was playing it out in her head of what would happen if she attended. She didn't even. It didn't get to that point.
And it is. Yeah.
So she didn't come. She just didn't
No.
show up.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Because she didn't want to say no.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't want to say no. I'm trying to think. Did she show? No, she didn't want to say no. So she just felt I won't attend. Because she said if she sees me, she's going to ask me to participate, and I don't want to tell her no.
Mm-hmm.
So no, she did not show up at all.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Very interesting.
Very
But how to get out of that was your question, right? So how do we?
Yeah, how do we change that? That thought pattern of that we have to say if someone asks us something, we have to say we can't say no. I just want to give like a little story. So for years I didn't drive. So my husband would drive the children and I all over the place, and he would a lot of times interrupt his schedule because we needed to go this place, we needed to go, whatever. He would interrupt his schedule, and it got to a point that he's like, I keep changing what I'm doing. Sometimes he would leave work or whatever. He just had to. I was interrupting his flow. And so it just got to a point where he would, I guess, complain. He would be grumpy, whatever it was. He would comment about it during and then after. And it came to a point like, if you can't do it, if you don't want to do it, say no. We'll figure it out. But just say no. Because don't do it and then you grumpy about it. Do it and you regret it. And then you commenting about it, just say no. And trust me, we figured it out. We figured it out when he wasn't available. So I just think that I think it's a disservice when we are not honest with how we actually feel. So, any final comments?
To your own self be true. To thine own self be true. I think that's Shakespeare. Okay, I'm not sure where I heard that. Probably Shakespeare, but to thy own self be true. If it's no, it's no. What part of no you don't understand? N-O. Simple. And just go to sleep.
and just go to sleep.
Yeah, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. And if they keep pressing you, cuss them out and then go.
That is super deep.
Okay, Sister V, any final thoughts?
I don't know. As I get older, I do find myself knowing exactly what I want and what I will and will not do. Yeah. So I think as I am getting more seasoned, I am more to like, nope, I don't want to watch some children. Nope, I'm not. I just want to sit and binge watch my TV shows or read a book or just do something or do absolutely nothing. Just no, I don't want to do it. So I'm getting to that point. So it could be, I mean, it's a whole lot of things that can happen. But yeah, again, as Sister Sash said, to thine own to be thyself. I wasn't quite cold, but
all right. So, in summary, I just want to say that it's okay to say no when you don't want to participate. It's okay. It is more than okay. It is your right to say no, and it is the right response. And by responding honestly with how you feel, you are putting yourself first. It benefits all involved when we put ourselves first. By saying yes without feeling as if we are obligated, we perform with more intention, more energy, and we're happier. And so I just hope that I personally take this suggestion. I hope anyone who's listening and watching who may be in a situation where they are asked something and they don't want to do it, that they find the voice within themselves to say no. And we would love to hear from you. Was there ever a time when someone asked you to participate in an event and you really did not want to, but you felt obligated just because you were asked? How did you feel during the event and afterwards? And if you could go back to that time, would you do anything differently? We would like to hear your comments. Please post your comments below. And remember, follow us on Instagram and Threads, friend us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And until next time, this is Jay Lynn of Your Mama Said What?
Your what? Your mama said what?
And this is V. Your mama said what?
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 Your mama said what?